What's going on, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to give you my 6 steps to get promoted in 2021. So, step number 0, actually, if all you are wanting is more money in 2021, join the other 140, 50 million people in this country, or whichever country you're in right now that works. Everybody wants more money. So if you're just looking to get more money and get a raise to get more money and that's it, stop watching this video, go up to the search bar and type in how to get a new job, because that's the easiest way to do it. You don't have to be promoted. You don't have to take on new responsibility. You don't have to get recognition. You can just go get a new job with a different company, a competitor probably, and get a 20, 30% pay increase. Example, I left one company and went to another, and it wasn't a get promoted thing. It was going from being doing security and security engineering to going back to full-time 100% software development. I got a 48% pay increase going back. It's that simple. 48% is a lot. But I mean, granted, I was working for a healthcare system, and then I went to a company that I'm a consultant now, so I'm billed out hourly. So, that was part of it, but it was easy. Just went and got a new job, and 48%, boom. So that's step 0. Now, if you really care about the 6 steps to getting promoted in 2021, just call it 6 steps because I wrote down 6 steps. So, might be 3, might be 1 for some people, might be 7. I don't know what number 7 is, but if you get you promoted, I guess it was lucky number 7. So, step number 1, understand the position. So what I mean on understand the position is, what is that new position that you're trying to get promoted to, or that new title? The company I work for example, we have internal and external titles for our position. So external, we are called associate consultant, consultant, senior consultant, principal consultant. And internally, you're software engineer 1, 2, 3, application architect, and then it goes to, I think, some other solution engineer, something after that. But understand, what are you trying to go for? Our internal, as you saw, software engineer 1 through 3, and then architect, those are all technical focused. So like, what can you do with the tech? What skills do you have? What do you possess in your toolbox, in your arsenal, that we can, bill you out to a client for? And the other side of it, the soft skill side of it, I call it, is more of that associate consultant, senior principal. That's really, what can you do for our customers? Are you basically just kind of a body there, staff augmented, filling in a job, we're billing them out and you're getting paid? Are you just, a normal consultant, you got some good ideas here and there? Or are you more senior? Are you a person that is, seeing the problems that the customer has before they even know their problems? Are you finding solutions for them? Are you working with them? I think that's kind of more the principle is, are you changing minds at that organization? Where they think in one way, we're always on-prem, and you're like, no, man, let's introduce you to cloud. Let's get you out there in the cloud, man. Everything's in the cloud, So, what's that? Is it technical or is it soft? So understand the position on that. And the other part about it is, are you going to be spending the same amount of time on the keyboard? Or are you going to be spending less time on the keyboard? I wouldn't imagine you're going to be spending more. I don't know, maybe you would be doing more in some roles, but understand that part. Don't get promoted and be like, hi, I'm now the application architect at my company, and you spend literally 30 of your 40 hours of the week in meetings, and the other 5 hours are reading emails, and then maybe 3 hours you're looking at some code or talking to your team members, and then maybe for about 20 minutes on a Friday at 4 o'clock, you wrote 3 lines of code, and that's all you could write because that's all you remember. So understand the position. Step number 2, what's the corporate way? I call this. So what does, HR, your company, what's the business say? This is what we look for in a software engineer too, and a number three, and a consultant, and a senior consultant. They might call it a career guide, a career path, competencies, career atlas. See what that is. Just kind of look at that, kind of measure yourself up to it. Get a little baseline of where you're at, and kind of understand what the company has kind of laid out to get you going where you want to go. The reason why I bring that up is because I've seen it where a manager before is all about, what can you do? When we give you a task, you need hand holding, or, can you pretty much get the task 80% of the way and you need a little bit of nudge maybe, towards the end to make sure it's polished? Can you pretty much do all of the task, and until you've reached, a dead end on Stack Overflow into the rainbow, are you asking for help? Or are you a guy that you can do anything, you can delegate to other people? Where do you fall in line? And when they see you move from one area to another, they promote you. Or you could have a manager where they come in and they're like, hey, I don't know how your previous guy was doing it, but, the company has this atlas right here, and we're going to see where you line up in it. And when you have 7 out of 10 of the checks, we'll go ahead and bump you up to the new position, sir. Just understand the corporate way. Number 3, take note of those around you. So, hopefully you've been at this place for a year, a couple of years. Just kind of take note. What is the game at the company? I call it. How do you play the game? How do you get promoted? Maybe they do have that career atlas, but it's just there because they want you to feel warm and fuzzy. This is the real way. What's the underground way? What's the back room conversations on how people really get promoted at your company? So learn that, understand that. Take note. Don't sit there and be like, well, Jim got on a project and they were supposed to have it in production in 10 months and he got it in there in 9 months, and he got promoted. So I'm on a project and it's got to be in production in 6 months, and I'm going to get it in 5 months. I'm going to ask for the promotion. I don't think it's going to work that way. But take note, maybe it plays a little bit into it. Number 4, your one-on-ones. Be very active in your one-on-ones. It's very interesting. I personally love one-on-ones. It is a half hour to an hour of just uninterrupted time with my manager where we get to talk about me and what can I do. Not to be self-centered on it, but it's a one-on-one. It's about where you are in your career, where you want to go. So utilize them. Other guys are like, yeah, I go to my one-on-one. It's always scheduled for a half hour, and after 5 minutes, we don't really talk about anything. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's why you're not getting where you want to go. Utilize the one-on-ones. So be productive in them. Ask for brutal feedback. Treat it like a sprint retro. What am I doing right? What should I stop doing? And what am I not doing that you'd like to see me doing? Treat it like a retro. Answer those 3 questions. You can probably answer them every 2 weeks. Just, hey, what's some stuff I do? I kind of started doing this. Should I stop doing that? What do you need me to do? What can I pick up? So go with that. And in the last part of that is ask them, why would you not promote me? Why would you right now not go down to Bob's office and say, hey, let's promote Tony here at year-end review. He's ready to go. Give him that software engineer number 3. He's not a 2 anymore. He's number 3. So let's give it to Tony. Why wouldn't he? Stand and die on that hill with you. Number 5, be your own cheerleader. So, and be your own cheerleader. You're one of what? 10, 20, 300 software engineers, developers, coders, programmers at your company. Know your own insignificance. My wife always says, you're just another person, honestly. So you got to be your own cheerleader. When you're kicking butt and taking names and then giving those names to other people whose butt you've kicked, Family Guy reference for those of you, you gotta get your name out there. If people don't know who you are, well, how are they gonna promote you? Usually, it's not a popularity contest, but be your own cheerleader. List out your accomplishments. When you go into your year-end review, list out like, hey man, I did all of this stuff. I taught 3 lunch and learns for the company. I had none of my stories actually resulted in any production bugs, which is awesome if they didn't. I mentored 2 guys. I helped volunteered at the company's conference and gave a talk. List your accomplishments out. Show you met your goals. So I had back in my 5-step thing of being a software engineer, I think it was number 2. I talk about SMART goals. Set some goals, meet your goals, and show that you met them. There's nothing better than, let's say, in a year's time, you're in September, and you go up to your manager, and you're like, hey, I put out these 4 goals this year, and I met them. I met them in 9 months. So it was going to take me 12. I did it in 9 months. So now I got goal number 5 here, and I'm going to get it knocked out in 3 months. And knock it out, and then boom. You give me something to do and I do it. Meet your goals. Last one, this is just a personal thing, really. I mean, obviously all this is personal, but describe the value that you add to your company. So something that I kind of learned that I was doing when I was taking over this life-changing switch of doing test-driven development, I was talking about testing and how when you do test-driven development and you've got your code coverage and it's quality tests, you add a lot of value because you're saving your client money. They're not going back and having to fix bugs and errors. You catch it usually right away. So then I was talking about how, not only do I want to do that, but I want to do mutation testing, or what's also, people know as like chaos testing. And, I was kind of spinning it a little bit saying, what I want to do is I want to elevate our company standards, the value that we provide to our client. They've got us and, 50 other consultant companies in town. Why do they want to choose, team XYZ over here? Well, they just get that little bit of extra. So yeah, show the value that you add. And last but not least, number 6, the key might be the only step you need. You got to ask for it. You have to ask for the promotion. You have to ask to be, elevated to that next level. If you don't ask for it, it's not going to come to you. Or if it does, it's because you've actually sat on your butt for 10 years and they're like, well, crap, Jim, he's about to get maxed out on salary, and I can't go to him and say, hey, sorry, Jim, we can't pay you anymore because technically you're just a level 1 person. And so we're going to go ahead and promote you to a level 2. But no, we're probably going to cut you in a year or 2 because you're not doing anything. So you got to ask for it. Go out there. Be a seeker. Don't be afraid. What's the worst they're going to say? No? Well, I mean, technically, if you don't ask for it, they're saying no. Every year when you get a review and you're not promoted, it was a no. So ask for it. You've already seen the worst. You don't get promoted. So just ask for it. So those are my 6 steps for you guys to get promoted in 2021. The source of this video was simply I had a guy on my team ask me this week, like, hey, I've only been at the company for 2 years. It'll be later this year. The review process was kind of weird last year with, COVID-19, really kicking off. How do I kind of, get promoted up, a level and stuff like that? And I gave him pretty much this spiel. I went a little depth of the tools that we have. Like we have a goals section, we have a accomplishment section, we have a feedback section where you give feedback on people. And I just kind of gave him the rundown. So I was thinking, I was like, hey, this is like the 4th person now I've told this to, and it's kind of the same spiel. So I was like, hey, let me throw this out there. So comment down below. What do you think of the 6 steps? Are they complete, utter BS, and maybe they just work for me and none of those work for anybody else? Is there step 7, 8, 9, 10 that you guys are finding that I completely missed out that, people need to do? So, as always, you got to subscribe and smash that like button and turn on notifications. If you want more of this great content, one takes this year, trying to do one takes. I'm not doing all this editing and wasting 4 or 5 days of my life, trying to get a video out there. It's just, hey, I got something on my mind. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out there. So that's how it's going. So you don't like it, tweet about it. If you still have a Twitter account, you know who I'm talking about. See you guys in the next video.